Yan Martel's Life of Pi, a 16-year-old Indian boy named Pi survives a 227-day journey across the Pacific Ocean alongside a Bengal tiger. While Pi's tale may seem unique, it follows the classic hero's monomyth identified by Joseph Campbell by clearly illustrating the ordinary world, the belly of the whale, and the resurrection as key events in Pi's quest for enlightenment as he combats the forces of nature and his own fear to become a self-aware, wise, mature, and God-loving man. Before his quest begins, Pi is seen in an ordinary world in his home of Pondicherry, India. The ordinary world allows the author to develop the hero's personality, which makes his quest credible and effective. It also allows readers to connect to the main character personally as we see the hero as human. Pi grew up in a zoo and has a vast knowledge of animal behavior, which allows him to control Richard Parker, the tiger, to survive, as well as devotion to religion. Yan Martel adds a seemingly random story of lion taming, with Pi explaining that if you fall into a lion's pit, the reason the lion will tear you to pieces is not because it's hungry, but because you've invaded its territory. For Yan Martel, 47. This exposes readers to Pi's confidence around animals, foreshadows Pi's control over a tiger, and makes it credible. Pi's views on religion are also expressed here, as Pi believes that doubt is useful for a while, but we must move on. To choose doubt as a philosophy of life is akin to choosing immobility as a means of transportation. 31. This illustrates Pi's devotion to God, foreshadows when he himself is in dire times, but keeps loving God to survive. His religion is his spiritual aid, according to Joseph Campbell's monomyth, and also helps readers connect personally with Pi's emotions and actions. As the novel progresses, Pi literally leaves the comforts of his hometown to sail to Canada. However, his ship sinks and he is now alone at sea with a tiger. This clearly is the belly of the whale, where all the trials and challenges take place. Pi must use his physical and mental strength to endure the harsh circumstances and survive. One of the greatest battles Pi faces is to keep himself nourished. Pi, who is strictly vegetarian, must sacrifice his lifestyle in order to survive. He learns how to fish and loses all sense of humanity as his desire for food takes over. Pi explains that, "You may be astonished that in such a short period of time I could go from weeping over the killing of a flying fish to gleefully bludgeoning to death a Dorado. It is simple and brutal. A person can get used to anything, even to killing." 205. Evidently, Pi has to adapt to his surroundings and let go of his past life in order to survive at sea. However, he uses past knowledge to help tame Richard Parker, which is Pi's greatest threat to survival. According to zookeepers, a tiger will not attack in the face of a direct stare, 246. And so, a terrific battle of minds for status and authority was waged between a boy and a tiger, 246. Pi, using all his strength, won, and from then on, life in the belly of the whale became easier, as he says, "My mastery was no longer in question. I gained confidence and became more comfortable," 247. Clearly, this was Pi's most difficult challenge, but one he was able to overcome. Unfortunately, no matter how much Pi fights, it seems that nature still seems to overpower him. Pi is about to give up when he comes across an island with an abundance of seaweed and greens. It seems like the worst is over, as Pi and Richard Parker have time to rest and replenish themselves now they are on solid land. However, this is merely the eye of the storm, as there is a resurrection of the problem. Pi believes there is something odd about this island and goes to explore when he finds a human tooth inside a tree. He is heartbroken as he says, "The radiant promise the island offered during the day was replaced in my heart by all the treachery delivered at night." 313. He finds out that the island is carnivorous at night and decides to yet again face the wrath of the sea. The resurrection is meant to be mentally transforming, as the main character evaluates his past journey. Pi justifies his return to the lifeboat by saying, "I prefer to set off and perish in search of my own kind than to live a lonely half-life of physical comfort and spiritual death on this murderous island." 313. Here we can see that Pi is mature enough to understand it is human interaction and happiness that he seeks, not just survival. While at first the lifeboat and the tiger were Pi's threats he must escape from, they are now welcoming as they provide the way back home. This revelation requires much wisdom and maturity, which have developed in Pi during his struggles. As Pi reaches the shores of Mexico, he leaves the lifeboat with a greater appreciation of life, newfound wisdom, and an everlasting devotion to God. While his journey is unique, it can be divided into the three well-used events: the ordinary world, the belly of the whale, and the resurrection. Yan Martel uses this popular monomyth by Joseph Campbell quite effectively to create an emotionally moving quest, such as Life of Pi.
Created using Powtoon.